All right, welcome back to Resilient Voices and Beyond. And for you guys, I have started the recording, so just letting you know. Um, I'm so excited. This is episode 34 of season 2. It has been a long time coming, and I'm so grateful to all the support, all the encouragement, whether it be social media, directly email or sent to me, but not only just to me in this channel and this podcast, but to all the people I've had on here. You guys have rallied around their businesses, what they're doing and so forth, and I live for it. So thank you guys for doing all that you do and being as great as you are. Without further ado, I'm gonna have my guests introduce themselves, starting with Daniel.
Hey everyone, my name is Daniel Woodruff. I currently work at the National Resource Center of Youth Services located in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm calling in today from Oklahoma City. At the National Resource Center, I am a trainer and a program development specialist where I help young people get jobs and find pathways to that, and help run and facilitate some trainings that we put on at the Resource Center. And most importantly, and two of the badges I probably wear the proudest is I am an alumni of foster care myself, and I am a knighted National Federal Reviewer. So I'm a Fed, as I like to say.
I love it. Awesome, Tish.
Hello, everyone. My name is Teshiana S-Nichols. I am an educational liaison for the Department of Human Services, Allegheny County. I'm calling in from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, home of the Steelers, as you all should know. I also assist youth with their educational journey when it comes to helping them find resources for their education, such as things like the Chafee Grant and the Fostering Independence Award here in PA. And to furthermore, some fun titles that I love to, I guess you could say brag about, are my titles as a federal Knight Reviewer as well, Fed gang. And also, I enjoy being a mentor to young Black women in my community who are trying to better themselves as mothers and as advocates. So yes, that's me.
Awesome. And if you have made it this far into my podcast or podcasts, my name is Michael D. Davis Thomas, aka MDDT Speaks. Yes, it is my initials, and it does sound like a wrestler, MDDT. But it's all in all, I have spent 11 years in the Michigan child welfare system, starting out on the juvenile side, switching over to the foster care side, came out, aged out, or what have you, started working in foster care, advocating, doing congregate care work, working juvenile corrections, and doing policy and legislating, housing coordination, programming, you name it. And that is why I'm here today to utilize my expertise to help with education outreach and creating a space for transformative change. So that's me in a nutshell. I'm going to introduce our topic today. My topic is Knighted. And well, if you have not seen and you clicked on this, our title is Knighted Conversation with Lived Experience Professionals. And I'm a Knighted Reviewer. Daniel's a Knighted Reviewer. Tish is a Knighted Reviewer, but Daniel's also a Knighted Support Coach, which that means a little bit something different, which he's probably going to explain a little bit later. But all in all, Knighted is a mandatory federal reporting system that collects data from states about youth demographic, the services youth receive, and the outcomes they experience as they transition out of foster care. The data are used to determine how well states prepare youth to adulthood. A Knighted Reviewer provides a unique expertise as a youth with lived experience in the child welfare system as they participate on the federal team as a case record review, on the federal team in case record reviews that accesses the accurate and appropriateness of services delivered to youth in foster care, conducted stakeholder interviews with state personnel and other young people to understand how states have implemented NYTD data collections, analysts, and use. That is a mouthful. But hopefully you got the gist. Going into my first question, um, starting with you, Daniel. When did your NYTD journey begin?
Yeah, I think Michael, honestly, to highlight and to fully grasp an understanding of my NYTD journey, I think I need to take everybody back a little bit. So a long time ago, to me, maybe not to some of your listeners, I don't know what the demographic and age group is, but I was taken into foster care back in like the mid 2000s, and I aged out foster care here in the state of Oklahoma. Once I aged out of foster care, man, much like a lot of young people, I was like, I want nothing to do with foster care, right? Like I was like the system's broken, right? The further I get away from it, the better off I am. And quite frankly, I was just like, I'm out, right? Like I want nothing to do with this. Here in the state of Oklahoma, we have a program called the Education and Training Voucher. So I attended college and I got that scholarship. And with that scholarship, I was given an advisor, right? Like a state employee. She would come, talk to me, make sure, my head was kind of on straight. My freshman year of college, my head was not on straight. I was having way too much fun. And then whenever I transferred to Oklahoma State University in Stillwater, she invited me to be a small group leader at this conference that the agency that I now work at actually hosts. And in doing that, I met a lot of people. I got strongly involved in local advocacy. And then somebody that I hold near and dear to my heart, Kimberly, now Osborne, it was Breeden at the time. Shout out Kimmy. She was like, "Hey Daniel, you should apply to this thing called NYTD." And I was like, "What?" And then she was like, "Lupe runs it." And I knew Lupe a little bit. We run in the same circles here in the wonderful and maybe not so wonderful state of Oklahoma. But whenever I heard that, I was like, okay, this is sick. Didn't know too much, right? Like Kimmy was just applying for the first time as well. I heard like something about being a Fed, which I always wanted to be. And then I heard, right, like paid trip to DC. This is pretty sick. How can I get involved? So I apply to do this. And I'm so excited. This is my first like national advocacy opportunity that I have. I actually show up to the library to have a phone call with Lupe dressed in a suit. I was dressed to the nines. I don't know too much about the Feds, but everything that I've always seen, they all roll up in like black Suburbans and they're all wearing suits. So I was like, I want to be a part of this, right? So that's how I dressed for this call. Had my interview with Lupe, and the rest is history for me.
Wow, I love that. Like, I truly do. It tickles my spirit, but it's really awesome. Tish, what about you?
Yes. So my journey to NYTD was actually quite fun. I must say it had its moments, but it was definitely fun. I agree with Daniel. I would have to take everyone a little bit back. So when I was in foster care in 2015, I began advocating for myself and my brothers in court. I didn't like what our attorneys were saying for us, like the way they were, trying to reword what we were trying to say. So it just ended up leading to me like, look, be quiet. This is what we're really trying to say. And that actually stood out to the judge at the time. And the judge at the time was like, I really could see you in my courtroom, being one of them one day. And that really stuck with me. As a kid, you're like, what? Me? Little old me? Like, I'm in here for bad reasons right now. Are you serious? So eventually, I just kept advocating and I gained a purpose and a passion for it. So when I got older, I would say probably in 2018, 2019, that was around my first year of college. I decided that I wanted to advocate on a wider spectrum. So I began advocating on campus for different purposes, such as plus size women needing equal rights on campus. Also, young women who were in foster care on campus, not getting access to all the right information and the necessary grants that we were supposed to be awarded because I was out of state. I was an out of state student at the time. And then eventually, someone reached out to me and was like, you need to join this thing called Foster Club. And I'm like, what's that? So I ended up doing some research because I'm a big researcher before I get into anything. And I ended up applying to be a Foster Club All-Star. During that time, I learned so much about my advocacy and how I could just, branch out and meet more people and network, and really utilize my voice. That was always my biggest thing. I have a large voice, so I like to use it. And then during that time, a wonderful woman named Lupe came in and started talking to us about NYTD. And she grasped my attention just from her voice. I'm not going to lie, the first time I heard her speak, I'm like, I don't even care what she's saying. I just want to hear her talk. So then she came again when I was an all-star coach and she was presenting to the youth. And I'm like, maybe this is my sign for me to go for this opportunity. So I ended up emailing her and I'm like, look, I really am interested. I want to get into this. I want to take my advocacy further and I just want to reach people with my voice. And she was like, I think you would be a great fit. She helped me get into it. She got me interviewed and the rest really is history. And now I'm here today with you guys who are now not only my colleagues, but also my friends.
I really appreciate that. Truly, because what I'm not gonna do is cry. Because NYTD has really held a special place in my life. I joined NYTD when I was homeless in a very low place in my life. After I aged out, thought I had everything good. I was one of the kids where caseworkers didn't have to worry about, but also I still needed help, and because they didn't worry about me, that instilled in myself a sense of pride in asking for help, So when I reached rock bottom, I didn't find refuge and, asking somebody for help or trying to find support, and it was really my demise. I ended up homeless at the homeless shelter, did some work, ended up doing like a panel with some friends of mine, Justin and Alexis. I'm gonna give them a shout out. They have the Redefining Normal book out there. They told me, hey, this wonderful opportunity about NYTD, you get to travel, and they knew I needed money. I needed to get out of my circumstances, my situation. I joined NYTD because I needed money, and it brought me so much more, than what I asked for. And that's just being very real about it. I needed, support, and I got that, and I didn't know I needed that. So when I came and I went to my first NYTD review training in 2019, it was a completely crazy experience for me, and Daniel, I'm like meeting everybody, shaking hands, trying to get to know everybody. I think I took a picture of everybody, got everybody's contact and what have you, because I was like, if I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna use it to the best of my ability. I'm gonna network because they may not know, but I'm going back home to a shelter, and I need to know what these people have done and how they have done it to make sure I can get out of my circumstance, because these are people that are my peers, and they may have walked the same walk that I have before, and they're older than me. So I was trying to learn everything that I could, and I did. I, had so much help from Lupe. I think I went to Lupe in the midst of the training, like, you don't even know, like, I like been down and out, and I'm really excited for this opportunity. And then there at tears talking to Lupe, and she's like, "Well, look, we family now. So how can I support you?" She started telling me about this thing. At that point in time, I don't know if it's already out, but like the FYI voucher, for housing. Like, look, we gonna get you together when you go back, and we go, and I never had that, and we're going to talk about like NYTD in the more professional sense, but there's a community, within this, and a camaraderie that I want to highlight as well, because it did so much for me, and I know it can do so much for others, and I believe, at least in my experience in my state, I don't know about you guys, um, too many people that come from my same background that may not have housing, or maybe in a rough situation, not having the best semester in college, don't take these opportunities as lived experienced individuals, because they feel like their situation isn't the best to be in that spotlight or to be in that position. And they feel like they have to be in a space of perfect, and I wanted to do this podcast to showcase that's not true. That opportunity may help you get what you need to get in a better position, and you may be passing it up, being in your head about it, and you never know, what community, what support, what needs, what, resources, and what additives you may give, to it. So that's a little piece I wanted to share, you know. um, yeah. My next question to you guys is, you guys kind of got into my next question actually. Um, but my next following question is, what roles the mental health and self-care plays in your position as a NYTD reviewer and in your life?
Are we going in the same order? Yeah, does that work?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it actually starts with this.
Tesh, go right ahead.
Okay, cool. So you said mental health, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And self-care.
Okay. So in my role as a NYTD reviewer, mental health and self-care definitely have come to be more more pertinent to my life. And I will say that it's definitely necessary now. At first, when I first began NYTD, or as I should say, my entryway into NYTD, I wasn't really aware of self-care or how to utilize, paying attention to my mental health. Growing up, it really wasn't a priority. It was more so something that was a privilege. If you were able to get mental health support or emotional support or self-care in any way, it was a privilege. It wasn't something that, someone told you every day, like, remind yourself that you're good enough today, wake up and actually do something for yourself today. Take 10 minutes to, just heal yourself today in some way, shape, or form. But coming into NYTD, Mama Lupe, as I love to call her, she definitely made sure that that was a priority. It didn't matter what we were doing. It doesn't matter if we only had a 2-minute break. She's like, take some time to yourself. And I eventually learned that reading was my way of, getting that mental care in more so. And that was my version of self-care, because I love to read. I find myself sometimes losing myself in books. So I think that that was definitely my way of just, getting away from my own story sometimes and actually digging into someone else's, even if it was fiction, and I love fiction. So I think that that was definitely something that helped me navigate my journey. But also, even in the work that we do, I would say that self-care came about easy. It was something that not only Mama Lupe, but also the company and the organization, really prioritize. There's days where we have a 9-hour day, and they're like, we're cutting 30 minutes out for you to get a nap, something. I remember our first conference, I'm like, y'all, I'm tired. The coffee's kicking in, I'm trying to get the jitters out. They're like, take 5 minutes outside, go calm yourself down, drink some water. And it really helped. And now in my profession, I take that time daily, even if it's 5 or 10 minutes, to just really focus on self so that I can be a better person to other people. Because as an extroverted introvert, I have realized that it takes a lot of personal time for me to bring my best self forward to all of the work that I do. So that was definitely important for me.
Thank you for that. Daniel, what about you?
Absolutely. I would like to preface this by saying self-care is still something that I struggle with. I for myself, I found it, man, I am a workaholic. If I'm not working one job, I'm doing another, right? Like I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm always trying to hustle. Honestly, attending the United training the first time that I did it, you often hear folks say like, hey, take the time to yourself that you need, right? Like we're going to be talking about some stuff. We've got long days, make sure you're taking care of yourself. But like, I genuinely, for the first time, honestly, in my life, whenever I attended the United conference, that I feel like if I really do need to take 5 minutes to myself and step out, like it's not going to be looked up, frowned upon. Like it's not going to be like, okay, he's stepping out to just, not to actually just take care of himself. So since then, I have been trying to do different things to incorporate self-care. Honestly, a little bit by guilt. Some of the trainings that I do at my job, right? Like I'm telling youth care professionals, like, yo, take time for yourself. And then, I kind of turn around and I'm like, I'm taking no time for myself. So some of the things that I've been trying to do now is I just try to get a little more, be a little more active. This new year, I bought a standing desk, and it's one of the more unique things. This is my first Zoom call with the standing desk, and I'm noticing that I'm kind of like dancing around like I'm at Club Generations in DC. But honestly, I think attending United training for the first time is where I really realized that, like, hey, it's okay to take care of ourselves, right? Like we need to. If you don't take care of your body, you don't take care of your mind, they're going to take the time when they need it. And quite frankly, whenever they do take that time, it's the most inconvenient time that they could possibly take it. So absolutely.
Definitely. I appreciate that. I appreciate that realness, like we still are working at things as professionals, and that is okay. So you guys out there listening, young people, what have you, adults, it is okay to still be working at something in your life and trying to get better at it or find different coping skills for it. Self-care for me, mental health, like it's been a journey. I think on my end with mental health, having been misdiagnosed, having my experience in congregate care, when I aged out, I wanted to search for myself and find answers. So really getting, having mental health exams and all these different things, breaking away from the stigma and cultural norms, of being an African American. We gonna sweep it out of the world. We just gonna, pray about it, and not go see a professional. I wanted to be better than what has came before me. So it became a very important piece of mine. And I started researching and trying to figure out how I can intertwine into my life. I stumbled a lot. I would say I stumbled through 18 to 23. I'm 25 now, and I have a refined self-care and mental health regimen, daily, waking up, for me, thinking my higher power, taking some time to decompress, and prepare for that day, thinking purposeful thoughts of how I want to, lead myself, how I want to walk, how I want to present myself in this day, and doing that in reverse, when I come home. Because for me, I think I'm still at the working stage because I guess I would be considered a workaholic too. I work 10 different jobs, literally. So I do need to dwindle that down to be able to invest holistically in my other parts of healthy living, like social and all these other things, you know. Um, but it's hard, it's hard, being a young adult in today's society. You have to work to be able to afford things, and sometimes one job doesn't pay for everything that you need. Um, so that's been my journey, and I appreciate you guys sharing that. My next question to you guys is, how can young people get involved in NYTD and opportunities like NYTD? Like you've mentioned, the foster care all-stars, you've mentioned that you're participating in other leadership opportunities throughout your state and what have you. So how can people get involved? And I'm gonna start this one.
Michael, but before you start this one, can I go back real quick to talk about some of the mental health stuff? Yeah, I just want to highlight a couple of the things that NYTD does that I truly really appreciate. I don't know if you guys have done an on-site review yet. The folks, Lupe in particular, is just so intentional about always checking in. If we're going to be real, right, like trainings are long days.
Yes.
It is a lot, and everybody's just always so intentional about like, hey, how are you, how's that received? I feel like honestly, a lot of the folks on the JBS team are really intentional about looking for reactions out of things that some of the stuff gets heavy, some of it gets a little controversial sometimes in those trainings, and they're very cognizant about like making sure we check in with people. And then, like I said, at the end of the day for NYTD reviews in person, right? Like we do these check-ins. They have some other processes in place, I feel like, to really help look out for our mental health as reviewers. And I think that starts with, right, we have support coaches like myself that are checking in with you guys, right? We have Lupe checking in with folks. We have the folks going up from there that are just always just so intentional. So mental health is definitely highlighted, as it should be whenever we're talking about tough stuff like young people aging out of foster care and the funds that they are receiving and how they're utilizing them and reviewing these things. So sorry about that, Michael.
No, it's perfect, because that, like, you brought up like your role, and how that plays a part. Because when you say support coach, okay, well, we talk about mental health. What is he supporting or not? Like, so thank you for backtracking me, because that was very helpful. Yeah, thank you for that. Well, getting into our next question, how can young people get involved? So, just like myself, like, there's more than likely someone, well, I don't want to say someone because I'm not sure. But there has been a lot of previous NYTD reviewers, and I wanted to wrap back around to these facts that I had. That there, since NYTD was created, there's been a little bit over 100 NYTD reviewers trained nationwide. So more times than not, there's maybe someone in your state that knows about NYTD, or caseworker may know about NYTD, or and what have you, and they can provide a little bit more information. But you can also go to the Children's Bureau website and type in NYTD to get to know a little bit more information and see how you can get involved. There's a lot of information about it, so make sure when you do look at the Children's Bureau website about NYTD, you make sure you read the title and the bullet points so it takes you where you want to go. But also, I implore everybody to take a look at the data snapshots, so you can see outcomes, because you maybe have been a part of a cohort, doing these surveys, because I know I was, and that was one of the ways I was aware when my coworkers, Justin and Alexa, reach out to me like, oh yeah, I know I've been taking up surveys. That's what you talk about. Yeah, I'm for it. So it is really helpful. But for like other opportunities like NYTD, like there's a Congressional Coalition for adoption, and I'm probably butchering his name. Somebody help me out. But the internship, that's an awesome opportunity. And so many people who have been a part of NYTD as cross-reference have been a part of that as well. Being a foster care all-star, going to NFYI Chaper Day, I've experienced 3 of those. Also being, going to the Daniel Memorial Conference and different things like that. I've been able to do that. I've been able to go as a person and go as a speaker and a presenter, so it's so many awesome opportunities out there. And one thing I want to say, and I'm gonna pass it on, is please, you guys listening, caseworkers, youth, young adults, alumni, what have you. But more importantly for the youth, do not feel like you have to be in a perfect position to fill out the application. Because if you wait, if you wait to have this together or have that together, you will lose the chance to be able to do these opportunities, and just take that leap, because a lot of these opportunities are built so they can help you, or help you build onto that leadership, help you build to that next level. That's why some of these opportunities are here, because they and these people, like our supervisor, I believe my supervisor, Lupe, I think that's her role. She's a supervisor, but there's somebody else as a supervisor as well. But Lupe is like very intentional, and she probably gonna listen to this and laugh because we said her name so much. But but she's so intentional and making sure that we're okay, not just on the job or what have you, but really from a wider scope of making sure that we're okay. And she passes us opportunities and let us know, like, hey, I think this would be great. I've been able to grow in my knowledge, even if I did not know anything. Like, hey, you may want to try this out. And I really love that because the supervisors and the people with NYTD and some of these other opportunities, they're not just like, okay, you're part of this opportunity, that's it. They want you to continue to grow within them and outside of them. And that's something that I really appreciate. Daniel.
Yeah, I would say, honestly, one thing I've noticed through all the different things that I've done is like word of mouth and Facebook. Man, like I see so many opportunities on Facebook that just get floated all around, like for everything, right? I think that the first step for a lot of folks is going to be just locally, right? Get involved in advocacy locally. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that every state has an advocacy board. If they don't, y'all should get with MDDT Speaks, and he can help you all set up an advocacy board if you're listening to this. But for real, right? Like start locally. Start at things like your guys' advisory board. Start, reaching out, teen conferences, right? Like little conferences that young people attend. Go up and talk to a politician. They might know some opportunities that will come up. And I think whenever you guys and young people and even speakers are attending, or caseworkers are attending events, don't be afraid to go up and talk to some of those keynote speakers, right? Like they're keynoting for a reason, right? They've got their head on straight and they know some stuff, right? Go talk to them. Quite frankly, usually whenever somebody's getting paid to keynote, part of that contract is they're supposed to hang out around afterwards and answer questions, right? Like that you got their ear. Don't be afraid. I think the most important thing for young people whenever it comes to this is just taking that first step. And once you take that first step, it's amazing. You never know where that path is going to lead you. I mean, honestly, I would have never guessed graduating high school that I would work in the social services field. I would have anything to do with, the national outcomes of data, right? Like I would have never guessed that this would have been me. And honestly, just taking that first step is just so vital for our young people. So that's the advice that I would give.
Tish.
Yes. So I think there's so many ways to join this network, altogether. But the one key word I will say is networking. Do not be afraid to network, no matter your big or little age. Do not be afraid to network, because as Daniel stated, word of mouth is like, I've always believed the thought of, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And if you network with your voice, you'll be able to amplify the room. You'll never know who you're speaking to. And definitely get involved with things like your youth advisory board. For instance, in Pennsylvania, when I got involved in our youth advisory board, we were talking about how much we wanted to change the system so bad that they came up with a new cohort called CITY, which stands for Systematic Improvement Through Youth. And that has changed the game here in PA, because it has given youth the pedal and the panel to just really be able to lift up their own voices and speak on what they feel like needs to be changed in the system without getting any backlash or feeling wrong about it. And then there are other organizations who are great at helping you, such as Foster Club. Even on their website, if you go on there, you can look up by your state to figure out what specific groups and organizations are in your state that you can be a part of. And they do that, they update it every year. I know that for sure. And even the All-Stars help to update that information. Also, the Jim and Annie E. Casey Foundation, I'm a part of them as an ACOMM member. And when I say that they really do a lot, when I joined that organization, they didn't know that they had actually helped fund my college schooling. So when I told them that, they were so shocked. They're like, wow, it's a small world, how things will always come full circle. So pay attention to the details of the things that you take advantage of. And also just pay attention to who you want to speak to, what path you're trying to take. Also get active on campus. If you're in school, get active. I'm trying to tell you, there is nothing wrong with that. When I went to Norfolk State in Virginia, we got active. We went to the president's office. We went to the student account's office. We wanted to know everything possible that we could get involved in to amplify our voices and really speak on the causes that we were passionate about. And lastly, I really just want to say that when it comes to advocacy or trying to join a new network, never be afraid to tell your truth or speak your truth. When you are 100% authentic in yourself, the right people will gravitate towards you, and it will lead you farther than you probably can even imagine. Like, I've never imagined that I'd be in DC 4 different times. I never imagined going to Arizona. I didn't really even care about Arizona at first, and now I love the place because of the art and the culture there. So these opportunities can take you, your voice will take you places your feet may not have even thought you will touch. So definitely network, because that will take you farther than you can even dream of. I definitely recommend that.
Out here dropping gems.
Yeah. I'm gonna need that quote. That's going on my
ribs. Tell you, get ready to put it on a t-shirt. Cause what? Man,
a philosopher here, Michael.
I'm trying to tell you. No, but it's so true. It is so true. Like, I promise you guys, like, I'm so grateful to be an opportunity that I am, but I know I would not have this opportunity without me taking the risk on opportunities like going to NYTD, in the midst of my circumstance and coming out of it in a better situation, and it just like, you never know, and it's crazy. You also mentioned, Tisha, about like networking. Started networking, being in an independent living home, and I like connected. It's crazy. I connected with the vice president of marketing of the placement that I was at, and I'm like, look, I don't know what you can do, but I need help finding a job. I do marketing. They connect with other people, so I'm like, and she became my mentor. Like, she literally came to the place and took me, and I connected with her over LinkedIn. Like, this is 16-year-old old me, like, on LinkedIn, connecting with CEOs and all other stuff, just trying to look. I know I ain't got a chance out here making it with myself, so I'm gonna try to, build a community, of some people who've been through some things and walked through some things to help me get to that next level. Because truthfully, coming from Detroit, where I've been through, my aspirations, I didn't think I was making it past 16, let alone making it past 18. And that's a realization for most people. Maybe they don't think like, oh, I'm, unfortunately, I'm going to lose my life or anything like that. But a lot of our young people do not think past, like, well, I'm just trying to make it past high school. And then you ask them, what else? What are you going to do after that? Yeah, I'm just trying to get through the day, But I like definitely would rebuttal, like, network, connect, take some time, like, and even if you're an individual that's, an introvert, network through social media, there's LinkedIn, Just in Time just created an app with people to network. And I'm probably butchering that. Facebook has a lot of groups, full of alumni. Reach out to me. I have a messenger full of over 100, alumni that like have done some great things, and I will be glad to put you in that messaging group, to say hello and get connected with some people in your state. But my next question, as we get ready to end us out here, is what advice do you want to leave here on this podcast today for the listeners?
Hey, start with.
I will take this one. I will take this one first.
Oh,
Yep. He threw it out there. I will grab it. I think two pieces of advice going to two different groups here. With me making an assumption that social workers and youth care professionals listen to your podcast, right? Like, but if you are, right, a caseworker, a foster parent, you are, somebody that is in these young people's lives that are in foster care or in some way, or, quite frankly, you just care about this population, push these kids to stretch a little bit. And encourage our young people to take those educated risks, encourage our young people to do things. I would say, quite frankly, encourage them to get out of their comfort zone a little bit. You can only grow as big as your tank is. And I think that's kind of overlooked a lot of the times. My sister was just wanting to get into some like advocacy quite a bit, and she was like, how do I get started? And I said, hey, Sapphire, I don't know how to tell you this. The director of child welfare's email is online, and if you send them an email, they have to respond. If they don't respond, they're pretty bad at their job, and they're at that point because they're pretty organized, right? She sent that email, and a lot of things have come from that. Just sending one little email that says, hi, I want to be a foster kid, or I want to advocate for foster youth. How do I do this? And next thing you know, it's like, dang, we got a lot of stuff in the pipe. So youth care professionals, foster parents, encourage your young people to if they want to make change, encourage it, right? Like our young people and advocates our age and the young people coming up now, like we're just a bunch of activists, man. Like, how can we get out there and disrupt some things and do it effectively? So that's the first piece of advice I would give to that population. But then the second piece I would give to young people that might be listening to this, or advocates that might be interested in this, or shoot, somebody that just clicked on this because it looked pretty sick, and we're growing, right? Somebody's listening back to some podcasts and they wanted to learn about NYTD. Life is just a really, really big road trip. We're going to stop and see some things, and a tire might fall off here, and we're going to fix it, and we're going to keep going, but don't stop, right? Like if we're driving from New York City to to LA, like I'm stopping in Nashville, like I might stop in Graceland. Like I want to see where Elvis is, but like that's not where I'm going, right? I want to get further and further, and just don't stop. Just keep looking forward. Things will clear, right? Like if we just put our heads down and we do the work, we really just try to persevere. You made it this far, so you're pretty darn resilient. Don't let anything stop you. So that would be my advice.
Yeah,
I love it.
I definitely love it. Ooh, Daniel, I feel like you took
Hmm.
over on that one. You did good. But I would have to say, the biggest piece of advice I would give is to never stop dreaming. Never stop dreaming. Because honestly, as that kid in foster care, I never thought I would get the opportunity to utilize my voice. I was one of those kids where my voice was sheltered, you know, and I felt like it was sheltered. I believed that. And it took, you know, the right people to come around me to realize that your voice is not sheltered. You're just hiding it from the world. But I definitely would say that, you know, when it comes to standing on a cause, standing on a purpose, know what you stand for. Learn yourself. You know, you're going to continuously be a growing person in this world. Learn yourself. You're going to have to keep relearning yourself. You're never going to fully be like, oh, yeah, I know myself today, because tomorrow you might feel some other type of way. That's just how the world works. And definitely keep networking. The people that God, and I don't know if everyone believes in God, but the people that God will bring into your life when you open your mouth. My favorite saying is a closed mouth will never get fed. You have to open your mouth, you know, in order to receive those people and to meet those people and to be in those rooms so that they hear you. But there will always be another opportunity. There will always be another person looking forward to hear what you have to say. So never be afraid to speak out for yourself and for others, because you never know who's listening and you never know who you're impacting. And also, I do want to say specifically to the caseworker crowd and the other higher up crowd, or I should say the oldies. I'm just kidding. But I would say that it's definitely important that you support youth in what they're trying to do. If a youth brings to you a cause, if a youth brings to you something that is going on in the home, you know, use your voice, use your resources, and really, I wouldn't say string them along, but definitely help walk with them on that journey. You know, don't leave them behind. Everyone needs a life support in some way, shape, or form, whether it's a person, place, or a thing. And that's something that will definitely always help us to, you know, keep being a team all together, because, you know, we all live in different states and cities and things like that. But when it comes to the cause that we're all fighting for, we're a team, no matter where we are. And all together, I just want to end on the note of just utilize your voice. Like I said before, your voice will put you in rooms your feet have not dreamed of touching. And that will always be the most important thing you can use if you have one. So utilize it.
Tish over here, she's dropping coins, man.
Look.
Like, yeah, a little mic drop, dropping coins like she's a banker. Like, come on now.
Man, I love it. I love it. You know, and I just, you know, adding to what you guys have said so beautifully, success is not linear. It is not linear, you know, and I understand, you know, and no power to no negative, you know, ill will to caseworkers, but like a lot of us, you know, as caseworkers or people who work in this field, like, you know, hey, you know, just make it out, you know, this, that, you know, and it's not with details, you know, and I understand how to adolescents or young adults mind, that could be like, oh, I just need to make it to college. Oh, I need to do this, you know. There is going to be some work you got to do. You got to put in. There's going to be some tiredness. There's going to be some sleepless nights. But I promise you, if you continue to do the work internally with yourself and outside of yourself, you will be all right. Find your unique way to thrive.
Mhm.
I like to say find your way to thrive instead of try to make it to success, because you can be okay thriving. You can be okay, in your own peace, in your own safety, and knowing your worth, knowing your value.
Mhm.
But also I hear, you guys say show up, you know,
Yes.
shake the table, you know, show up, bring your own little seat you got, they got them on clearance at Walmart, the little lawn chairs you can get, bring your own. Look, hey, look, I don't even know nothing about, politics, but I know we're talking about foster youth in this state, and I just wanted to be here to add my input. You know, show up to city council meetings, show up to, these, and just be like, hey, can I get your business card? Hey, can we talk or have coffee sometime? You know, and this is not just for just advocacy in a grander or macro or even a micro scale, in your own life, with professors, with teachers, with bosses, all, like, don't be afraid to be like, hey, I want to connect further. I want to learn from you. Like, I
Mhm.
would like to be build more in myself. And outside of coming in and just clocking in, I feel like there's some more that you can give to me, And I promise you, I've expanded so much further in the opportunities I've taken, like United and in my own life, by just showing up, networking, and connecting. Another thing, ask questions.
Mm.
Ask questions. I like messed up. I promise you, like, I got evicted, messed up my credit, all these things, and these are real things because I did not ask questions or ask for help. It
Yeah.
wasn't that the help was not out there, I didn't ask,
Mhm.
you know, and that can be detrimental from you going through a storm by yourself or a storm with a vehicle with some coverage, a nice
Mhm.
hotel to stay in if you can't see the road no more on the road trip,
Mhm.
all these different things, get you some extra gas, a gas card, all, it can be the difference, and also make room for yourself, make room for healing,
Mhm.
especially if you're a person with lived experience, make room for healing, because when you step into a room full of people who are looking to the hills, or that are grinding out here, I probably, like, even if you had no intentions of trying to grow or trying to expand your knowledge, you're gonna leave there like, dang, I didn't even know that's what I needed, but it sure took something out of it. And I wanted to leave you guys with a quote, um, with this advice, and hopefully you guys take this with you,
Mhm.
and the people that are listening take this with you guys as well. And the crazy thing about this, when I got back from 2019 United, all the things I experienced in 2019, I wrote this. Walk into school in the morning, my hair was frozen. My hair was frozen. I was going to catch a bus because I just had got back into school and everything like that. And it says, I had to learn to listen actively, observe, use my voice, find my value and my worth through darkness, take heed in the journey, and also grasp the lesson, yet enjoy the ride.
Mhm.
I, I live by that every day. I read that to myself, you know, um, and I take that with me, you know, take what you want from that. But
I love it.
my next, my next question, more so statements from y'all. This is a space for you to brag on yourself. What you got going on? You got a book, rap song, album, whichever. You know, tell us how they can connect with you, how they can follow with you, what you got going on, and what have you. Starting with Tish.
Uh-oh. So, I have quite a bit going on right now that I'm excited about, and some things coming in the works for 2023. I will start by saying, starting next week, I will actually be going back to school for my master's, and I will be at Point Park University in their Masters of Intelligence and Global Security program. So yes, Black girls in tech, we are here. So I'm really excited about that. Dan, I'm going to be talking to you because, you know, we're Fed gang and we're trying to get there. So, but also I actually will be coming out with my own podcast called Pain, Passion, and Purpose. So I'm really excited. And what breeded that was the idea of the whole issue with the PPP loans. I'm not even going to lie. I kept thinking about those letters. I'm like, why those 3 letters of all letters, you know? And the one thing that always carried me through my journey was thinking about how the pain led me to my passions, or to experience and nurture my passions. And those passions breeded me into my purpose, to finding my purpose. So that is why Pain, Passion, and Purpose will be my thing of 2023. So be on the lookout. I'm not going to drop a date yet because there's some things in the tweaks right now. And then also I will be partnering with my old university, University of Pittsburgh, to actually assist with implementing a new program that will be providing on campus, like an on-campus resource hub for foster youth. So that they can go to a direct office to get any and everything related to their educational experience that has to do with them being in foster care. So that's something I'm also really excited about. And I will also continue to be a NYTD Reviewer because I'm not leaving. They can't get rid of me. And lastly, I am working on coming out with an autobiography for 2025. So yes, there is a book in the making by Mama Tish that I'm really excited about. And I'm really excited. It's like my baby right now. I'm nervous. I'm excited. It's a little bit of everything. But those are just some things that are in the works right now that I'm really excited about. And I can't wait to share them with you guys.
That is awesome, Tish.
Thank you.
Well, I am living in the moment. I am in a moment of a time of transition in my personal life, just hanging out, man, trying to survive. If anybody needs a managing aggressive behavior course that's in a cool place outside of the United States, please contact me at the National Resource Center, because I would love to travel to Hawaii on your dollar. That would be pretty sick. And I would fight if one of my coworkers tried to go instead of me. So I was talking to my girlfriend before this about like, hey, like how should I shout myself out? And she was like, yo, if you could get us to Hawaii, that would be pretty sick. So that's that was my approach for this. But on a real note, right? For myself, I think 2023 is going to be a big year for myself. I'm really excited about what all is going to be coming. I'm not dang Tish, dang dog. I should have went first. So then like I set the bar here and like you smashed it rather than you setting it there, and I'm trying to get to it. If you guys need any shoes, hit me up on Instagram, D_Woodruff69. I can I got the plug, so don't worry about that.
I love it. I'm gonna call you because I'm trying to become a sneakerhead and I'm horrible with shoes.
Yeah, I got you. Yep. One of my personal goals for 2023 is to only buy myself 23 pairs of shoes. Right, like that's Mike's number. It's like, so.
I like
that's
that.
Gonna be Tish's age.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. Wow, you guys are both great, phenomenal, because I can't speak today, phenomenal advocates, and just great in all that you do. I truly appreciate you guys setting out the time to speak with me and intention and purpose, about, our journey with NYTD, and our journey with all the other opportunities we have done to be able to let other people know they're out here for you as well. I'm getting older. I know I won't be able to do this forever. And I want to make sure the next generation know that we need them. We need them to carry on the torch. And that there's these great opportunities that will fly you to DC, and you get paid, and you stay in a nice hotel.
Look, and you get food.
Like food.
You get food.
Because I don't know if any of you guys listening are foodies, but I promise you, I've had the best experience with these guys after we have done a training, going somewhere and trying something new. And it actually turned out really great. Like, it really turned out really great. So if you take anything, from this, there's opportunities out there for you guys, and we need you. And if you want to find out how you can, join or be a part of NYTD or other, federal opportunities, check out, the Children's Real website. I believe there's other federal opportunities that are kind of similar to what NYTD does, but there's a lot out there, and even if you just take these opportunities to learn, that's awesome as well. So with that being said, any closing remarks from you guys?
Yeah, hey, if anybody's interested in learning about NYTD, they can also email cw@jbsinternational.com. Like I said, much like a director, they get paid, they are organized, they will get back to you. So usually pretty quickly too. So again, and maybe Michael can link this down below, but it's cw@jbsinternational.com.
Yes. And also, do not be afraid to reach out to us via email. We will definitely provide that to Michael if he feels the need to share. But yes, do not feel afraid to email us to find out what our experience is like, to gain more information from us personally about, what have we been through? What does it look like? What's a day in the life of a NYTD reviewer or a NYTD support coach? So definitely do not be afraid to reach out to us because we are open books. We do not mind sharing our story, and we are talkative, promise.
We're a good time. That's for sure. This is a good time right here.
Yeah. And thank you, Michael, for this opportunity.
Oh, thank you guys. The privilege is all mine. Like, my vision with this was to take something that has given me so many blessings, and so much life into my own life, so much breath in my own life, and helped me in a very unclear and uncertain place, and help that next person be able to get the same opportunity, and that's what I'm living for. I've lived through too many things, been through too much, had too many things help me out, and somebody be there, somebody drop a gem like Tish just did a few minutes ago, for me to keep it to myself. I want the next person to thrive. I want the next person, because I know I won't be here forever, and we're going to be advocating for change and all these different things and working towards, collecting data and all these different avenues that you can do and opportunities for a while, for a while, unfortunately for a while, but, also fortunately, job security. But, it's awesome. It's awesome. And, I just, we're not locked in the house anymore. So go ahead and apply, go take you a nice little trip. You're going to have to sit through some meetings. You're going to have to talk a little bit, but you're going to get a time where you can go explore, go see some monuments and stuff like that. So I always say it's a vacation, and what have you. In my experience, I had a layover, but I still got to stay over on my vacation at one time, and it was still fun. I had an excuse not to show up for work, but It's always a good time. You meet some really cool people, and I just want to pour out what I'm feeling, into this to like just let you guys know it's awesome. So that's my intention. That's my purpose with doing this, you know. And I just want to go back, to some of the facts that I was gathering, since NYTD has been created, there has been a little over 100 NYTD reviewers trained nationwide. And we're in this space where we're talking about equity and lived experience individuals. These over 100 lived experience individuals have had a seat at the table for change, for equity, all these different things. And that's awesome to me because we're in this space where we're talking about that and advocacy, but also currently there are 34 federally trained NYTD reviewers nationwide. That's awesome. That's at stakes. I don't know if they in all the states, but at states. So and as we get ready to end out this episode 34, season finale of season 2. It's been a long time coming. But I know we've talked about some things that may be a little bit triggering or may brought up some things with yourself and our individual stories and our journeys. So it'll take some time as we get ready to end, if you're listening to this on your way to work or getting ready to walk into work or what have you, before you, step into that next environment, let's take some time to do some self-care, some mindfulness, to center ourselves back, if it's something you would like to discuss further, feel free to reach out to me, I'll be happy to help you find resources or just listen or talk, and I'm sure these guys will as well, also, his recording will be available tomorrow, dropping at round 8 to 9 Eastern time, because technology. So I'm gonna say between 8 to 9 Eastern Standard Time. You can listen to it on Spotify, Apple. It will be audio and video version on YouTube, Spreaker, iHeart, Amazon, Google, everything, pretty much. And you can learn more about NYTD at the Children's Bureau website. I do not have that website on hand. But also, if you have further questions, what is that email, Daniel?
It is cw@jbsinternational.com. Again, that's CW, which is short for child welfare, at jbsinternational.com.
Awesome. And season 3, I know some people wondering, like, you taking a break, you did 51 episodes in season 1. So look, I have dropped so much, so many gems, so many knowledge for y'all to just catch up, understand what's going on in the world of child welfare. I have had, these wonderful professional individuals on here to 3 different directors of my own state child welfare program, to executive directors, to peer supports, to parent partners, to lawyers, and you name it. So there's so many, different stories that I have been able to capture for you guys to educate yourselves, learn more, and how things are functioning, how things are ran, but also, the person behind it all. I think that's really important. One of the things I advocate about is bringing the humanity back into human service work, and showing the humans behind it all. So with season 3, I'm gonna take a little break, and what that break will look like is I'm going to be doing some lives randomly. That they're not going to be so random that I'm going to promote it, but basically randomly with some other people with lived experience, just having authentic conversations about day-to-day life or what things are going on Facebook and Instagram, because I don't have the amount of subscribers on TikTok. So if you feel like subscribing to my TikTok, go subscribe to my TikTok. Help me be able to go live on there as well. And just having a good old time. And, with those lives, I'm hoping to be able to hey, if you have a question or you want to come on screen, long as it is appropriate. Long as it's appropriate, and will allow you to come on screen, and ask a question or bring up something within that time. I also will be doing my coffee and conversations, which is a place for networking and bridging the gap between different arenas, such as the medical field, mental health, child welfare, juvenile, criminal justice, bridging them together to be able to help share networks and resources of all the great things that we are doing to help children and families together. So I'll be continuing to do that. I may have some collabs and some partnerships coming up. I'm not gonna jinx it. I got some things talking in the works. I am still looking to be able to build this to be self-sustaining. I sustain this on my own. And it is a lot, so if you feel led to, sponsor or know someone that is willing to sponsor or donate, to be able to keep this going, you find value in this, reach out to me. I think I mentioned everything. I think I cut it all. Remember to like and subscribe, to my YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe my social media. I get paid for my social media. So that does help with doing all these things. My social media is on professional mode. So depending on how many people like and share, and comment, I get paid a certain amount of cents and what have you. So it's nothing big, but it's something when you gotta pay for these monthly subscriptions for stuff.
You're gonna secure that bag, Michael.
Look.
Tell him, Dan.
So please, like, subscribe, share. I'm gonna keep doing this as long as people find value and want to be a part of this, and as long as I can. So thank you guys for taking the time to listen. Thank you guys for taking your time to be a part of this conversation. I truly appreciate this. It has been an honor and a privilege to be able to observe you, Daniel. I think you've been like a mentor in this United realm for me, and I appreciate your walk, your talk, and how you present yourself. Tish, you have been like a sister. When I was tired of walking all these miles trying to get this Uber back to the hotel, y'all have me messed up. I appreciate you motivating me and telling me, let's get these couple steps.
Yeah. I'll always be there to push you.
Definitely. But no, I really appreciate the camaraderie that you guys have given me, and a sense of family and friendship, so thank you from the bottom of my heart to the top. This has been Resilient Voices and Beyond. I hope you guys have a good night, good morning, good whenever you listen to it. Just go and be great. Thank you. And I'm going to be stopping the recording.
Oh. We're not.
Actually, I'm not.
It is now a reality TV series.
Look, because look, I'm trying to find.
You got so much stuff open, you forgot where